Hi, my name's Harold. Sometimes you come across a do-it-yourself job that's really not worth doing it yourself. And as a great example of that, I was watching a video today where they were going to show you how to use liquid rubber to make a mold to cast your own concrete pavers for the backyard. Little stepping stones that look like bricks or whatever kind of patterns are laid out on them. And I looked at their video and I'd say, well, everybody's got wood, pieces of wood left over from one project or another, and screws and things like that. So I decided, well, okay, there's no cost for the frame that they made to set this concrete paver down in. And what they're going to do with the concrete paver is use it as a pattern. They're going to spray this compound on there that'll keep it from sticking to the rubber they pour in there, and they spray this compound all around the walls to keep the rubber from sticking to the walls of their mold. And they put putty, some special putty, all the way around the concrete block. And then they get about 12 pounds of this liquid rubber, and they mix it up and pour it over in this mold. And I get to thinking, well, that liquid rubber, that stuff's pretty expensive. And so here we've spent a whole day probably making this mold now, and this mold's going to make one paver. So then you got to get some concrete and mix it up, and you want to mix just the right amount. You don't want to have, not enough concrete, and you don't have too much, or you just wind up throwing away concrete. So anyway, you fill this liquid mold up with concrete, and then you wait till tomorrow so that it's set up enough for you to peel the rubber off it and make another paver. Now, if you wanted to say 25 or 30 pavers to make yourself a path, that'd take you all month, one a day. And that rubber's expensive, and all the little parting compounds and the sealer and all this stuff that they use there, all these things add up pretty much. And you can go down to Home Depot, and for $3.87, you can buy one of those pavers that somebody else has already made and it's already colored and all that stuff. So I think that probably is an example of a do-it-yourself project that's just not worth doing, unless you just get a kick out of it and you want to make some really special looking pavers. I mean, you can find a way to justify whatever you want to do, and then you can do it. I got this Craftsman lathe, and a while back I was drilling a hole with a great big drill bit stuck in the tailstock, and pushing it up, and I was running the chuck a little too fast speed for for that size drill bit, and I twisted it a little bit, and I took the thing apart and flattened out the little post that goes up inside of the tailstock there to keep the quill or ram or whatever that part is that slides in and out, to keep that still. But ever since then, it's the first inch and a half of it before it comes out of the tailstock housing. You have to really bear down and grit your teeth and pull hard to get it to move through that spot. So what we're going to do today is we're going to try to fix that. We'll figure out what it is that caused it. And before we get there, though, I want to tell you about this old boy. He went into a bar and he said, "Hey, I just heard a great redneck joke." There's this huge guy standing off the bar stool there, and he says, "Hey, just a minute, buddy." He says, "Before you tell that joke, I'm a redneck." He says, "I'm 6'3", I weigh 280, and I'm all muscle." He says, "That guy over there is a professional wrestler, and he's a redneck too. And the guy behind the bar has got a pistol next to the cash register, and he's a redneck too. Now, do you really want to tell that joke?" And the fellow thinks a minute and says, "No, I don't have to explain it 3 different times." Well, okay, they wasn't up to usual standards, but that's what you get some days. Anyway, let's go work on my lathe and see if we can't fix the tailstock. Sometimes everything looks really great outside, huh? And yeah, there's the biscuit hunter. She just chased a squirrel out of the yard, so she's feeling pretty good. This thing's annoyed me long enough. I'm going to have to take it apart and see if I can figure out why it's so sticky. Have to really crank on it, yeah, to get it to come back here enough to pop out that thing there. So there. I'm going to take it apart and find out why it's so stiff at this point. And I think I'll probably cut off the camera for part of it, because it's going to be kind of boring taking it apart, I think. I don't know. As I recall, you have to take off this this nut right here, which taking it off doesn't make anything easier. So that's obviously not a matter of adjustment. Find it. Keyway there. Yeah, you see it. Okay, got a little keyway there. And I don't 100% remember exactly how I took this apart the last time. Get the key out. Going to go out that way. It's going to come out this way. It's sinking in there, isn't it? So maybe I get a soft hammer and whack it. I guess this qualifies as a soft hammer. I guess I should really had the thing screwed all the way the other way. That wouldn't be smart. I'll have to put it back together and try to screw it back over the other way. See if that'll go in. Yeah. I'll screw this piece all the way out the end. I think that's what I did before. But you know what they say. Don't move, get a bigger hammer. That's the wrong way, huh? No, it's not. There we go. I think it's moving. Yeah. After get about an inch of it out, it starts to move fairly easy. Alright, that's the end of the threads. So might come off this way or not. I guess I should have took notes the last time. It's got to unscrew there. Yeah. Okay, so I'll turn off the camera and work on this. But it's not working out right now. These threads right here felt pretty rough when I took them out of there. And I run them on the wire brush over there, and now it seems to want to screw in there fairly easy, whereas before it was a bit tight. It would look like kind kind of like metal chips on them, so I don't know if dirt got down inside it and plugged the thing up or what. The threads in this thing only go about to here, so you can see it's just a hole straight through, and I suppose it could have had chips down in there making it tight. I'll clean it a little more and put it back together and we'll see. This little piece sits in the side there, and these pieces right here come right around the side of this little quill, and they're what latches it in place when you want it to hold still by squeezing together like that. So when you put it in, you have to hold one up and shove this thing just right past them as they go in. Now when this groove in the bottom lines up with that little flat screw right there, that's what keeps it from twisting in the hole, is that little flat-sided bolt. So we'll go in there, shine the light in. We'll go in there and get past the little clamp and hook onto the screw, and we'll see if it moves better. Okay, problem solved. I took this little fella and I ran him in here from this end instead of from, you know, the other way around the way it's supposed to go. You have to take that out. But anyway, it goes all the way in. But when I first brought it over here, it would just barely start to go in, and I filed right along the edge of this little groove for the positioner, and now it goes in just fine. So that's, the damage was in this groove, I guess, from me slipping that, letting it twist in there, you know, from, I don't know, from using too big a bit at too high a speed. Although you'd think that it would have made much difference except right there, but because this is where the little thing goes up to hold it. But nevertheless, I've got it all worked out now, and move on to the next problem. Look how easy this is now. Just spin her down there and pop it out. Get that thing moved. Way to go, huh? It's been a long time since I was able to do it like that, so that's an improvement. We'll move on to our next problem now.